All right, we are going live, my good sir. All right.
Let's go.
Let me tag everybody in the group. Let me make sure we're actually live.
Let's see who pops in.
What is up, everybody? Looks like we're live. Yep, here we are. Let me go ahead and, get this whole thing rolling here. For everybody just popping on, if you guys can hear us loud and clear, please type live in the comments below. Looking forward to giving you guys an awesome, session today. So sorry, guys, I was in the process of building a bunk bed. So super fun stuff, right?
Dad life.
Cool. Just tagged everyone. Be good to go. All right. What's up, guys? Let me see if I can see the comments here. Abraham, George, Nathan, Scotty. Got quite a few people jumping on. Fantastic. Awesome. Glad to have you guys here. Guys, special guest today. So I don't usually go live with anybody else, but I'm going to start doing that with my coaches a little bit more often, because these guys are kind of the people who kind of make the whole Recelerator program work. So I brought on Matt Shirley today. Today, guys, we're going to be going over the top 10 electronics that you can flip for profit. And then I brought Matt on to kind of give you guys a little bit more of a deep dive into console flipping. I think it'll be super, super cool. And let me open up the Slack group. Does anybody have any wins that they want to share? If you have any wins, feel free to drop them below. I'm gonna pull up some of our wins because we've been having a whole lot of them here recently. And ever since I implemented the whole little win thing that we got going on now, it's been even more. So it's been cool.
Been awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
So before we get started though, guys, I want to introduce you guys to Matt. Matt, dude, if you could introduce yourself. A lot of these people don't know who you are. You've been kind of in the background, of the Recelerator program, working
right
back in with the students, about to move into the accountability part of the Recelerator program. So I'm super excited about that. Give a quick detail, like from the beginning, dude. And then we'll jump into the top 10 electronics to resell with a little bit of a deep dive into game consoles. Yeah.
Okay. So some things about myself. Well, Chris and I have actually been connected now for about a year. We've been doing this. He and I both, you could say, kind of cut our teeth and got acquainted or more familiar with reselling electronics, more specifically with a similar guy named David Kosciuszko. I saw Chris from a distance back then, knew he was doing his thing, actually along with Aaron Felden, some of those other people you guys may have heard of. But at the meantime, I'd started that course. I was still teaching. I come from a youth mentorship, kind of public school background, and I was still working a full-time job of 40 to 50 hours a week, and just very casually started reselling. Noticed a lot of people were reselling phones, which I thought was pretty cool. Tried my hand at a few phones, but also was, kind of curious about all the opportunities I saw when I looked online at video games and video game consoles. So in a very calculated risk, cautiously optimistic sort of way, I began to move towards attempting to acquire and purchase just different various consoles that I saw, and realized that it was actually possible. And so from that time to this, roughly 3.5 years ago, I would say that 80 to 90% of roughly everything that I sell is accounted for by video games, video game consoles, and or VR systems. And within the course that Chris and our team offers, that is essentially what I teach people to do now, how to run a healthy business, but more so how to really do well for their business by reselling video games, video game consoles, and VR systems. And we have been very successful. I've been very successful with that. I've helped students in the group literally make thousands of dollars, which is so exciting to be able to afford people the freedom and joy and happiness that can bring. And it's also just been a super blast, like hanging out with Chris. Like Chris and I, we work together, but I guess, we're kind of friends now, and that was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Matt was actually the person who kind of comments. So let me actually share some wins from inside of our community here. So as you guys can see here, these Oculus Quest controllers, this is actually something Matt actually brought to the table. with us. Okay. So this is an Oculus Quest controller. You can see Bill here. Bill has been absolutely killing it in the Recelerator program recently. Like,
True that.
and as you guys can see, last week we actually added these fun little memes. Every time somebody drops a win, they get a fun little meme. It's pretty fun. But we saw a lot of these. We saw a lot of Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. As you can see here, Bill once again crushing it. Here's Matt coming in with the games. For those of you guys who don't know, and I'm sure Matt's going to jump into this, these Switch games are hot, like really hot. So, I mean, as you guys can see, like a lot of the stuff that we're flipping here is game consoles. We got some phones in here too. But a lot of it is, 2 Oculus Quest controllers, Oculus Go. Here's Matt showing everybody up. So here's a big. What'd you get this for? How much was this?
It was roughly 600.
Dude, that's a steal, dude. You gotta make some money. So we got a bunch of wins coming in on the game console side, and I really wanted to share this with you guys. And bring Matt on to kind of open your guys' eyes, because a lot of the times, especially, how many of you guys are familiar with buying and flipping phones? Type a 1 in the chat if you are familiar with flipping phones, and only phones. Okay. And I know there's a little bit of a delay on the live stream side, but if you came in only flipping phones, there's a lot of other opportunities out there. Scotty says 1, Tiffany says 1. Yeah, so a good amount of people are only familiar with flipping phones. So I wanted to bring Matt on today and kind of help you guys expand, but I also wanted to go over the top 10 electronics to resell and then kind of dive a little bit deeper into them. And that's one reason I brought Matt on, was to kind of deep dive a little bit more on the game consoles themselves. So, and just so I know who I'm talking to, the audience, if you guys could let me know how much experience do you guys have with flipping electronics? Have you made 1,000, 2,000, 5,000? Drop one of those numbers below. If you made 0, it's okay. Type that too. This group is for beginners. Okay. So will this have a replay? Absolutely. Always. Everything I do has a replay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump in though, and talk about the top 10 electronics to flip. So I see James Barker there. What's up, dude? Glad to have you here, dude. Been a while. All right, let me pull this up here. Okay, let me share my screen. All right, top 10 electronics to resell. I will be dropping this. Actually, I'll have Jared, our guy, send it over at the end. So if you guys want this, you can just type top 10 below, and Jared will actually DM it to you so that we make sure that it actually gets to you. I've noticed when I drop things in the comments in the past, people either forget about them or, things like that. So we're going to have Jared drop this in your DMs so that we make sure that it gets there. So just type top 10 and we'll drop it in. All right. So number 1, guys, obviously iPhones. Everybody has one, right? Everybody has an iPhone or a Samsung or something, right? So iPhones is obviously by volume. A lot of the things that we resell, right? Used, damaged, broken. So the top models to buy, as you guys can see here, iPhone 8. Yes, iPhone 8. Aaron Goldstein, one of my coaches, bought an iPhone 8 Plus the other day for like $25. You can still buy them. Okay. Then we got the iPhone X, XS Max, 11, 12, 13, 14 series, right? You can buy iPhones in a variety of different ways. We buy them used, damaged, unpaid balances. We do not buy them iCloud locked or blacklisted, though. And then you guys can also see a visual of what our ads look like for these. You can see that right here. The next thing that I want to talk about is MacBooks. A lot of people pass up this opportunity. How many of you have bought and resold a MacBook? Just type Mac in the comments. That way we can see just MAC Mac, right? So MacBooks, guys, are generally really good at keeping resale value. And I mean really good, at keeping resale value compared to HP and stuff like that. Matt, have you flipped a couple laptops?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. MacBooks keep their value way better than any of them, right? So, and as you guys can see here, I got the top models to buy, and it goes back to the MacBook 2014 Pro and Air, as you guys can see here. These are pretty much the ones that I flipped. Now there are models among them, right? But you know, for the most part, these sell really well and they keep their value for an insane amount of time. The MacBook I actually have now, I bought it 3 years ago and I could still sell it for a profit. That's crazy. You know, bought it for $100.
Awesome.
It's still selling for like $250. Isn't that awesome?
It's awesome.
And then I want to talk a little bit about this one. So Matt, I'm going to let you dive a little bit deeper on this, but you know, you're actually the one that introduced me to the Oculus Quest.
Yep.
So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about it. Talk a little bit about like, you know, why these things are, and obviously this is a little older because this one's 200, but yeah, you know, kind of how did you get introduced to the VR market, man?
Yeah. So when I started reselling video game consoles, I was trying to eradicate every bit of ignorance I had about buying something and trying to resell it. And the only way I was going to get good at learning how to buy video games and VR systems was to literally go buy them and try to flip them. And so I was doing a lot of investigating, and I had, you know, bought Nintendo stuff, Sega stuff, some Xbox stuff, and VR was kind of emerging at that point. The OG Oculus Rift CV1, which came out in 2016, 2017. I think I bought one in 2018. And accidentally, when I sold it, I accidentally did a poor job of trying to, you know, get rid of it. And so I had to really figure out its true value to try to sell it. And I actually did, and I still made a little bit of profit. It's kind of like the first time I ever flipped the phone. I did okay on the profit, but mostly it was about a learning process. And what I discovered that, you know, was along with other electronics, is that it just had a great resale value. And so the cool thing now is that Oculus doesn't simply have something like the Quest 2. They have a whole lineup, you know, within Chris's course and within everything that we teach. You don't simply have access to knowing what this is worth. You kind of can learn what everything is worth within the Oculus. There's an Oculus Quest 2, there's the MetaQuest Pro, there's the Rift S, there's the Oculus Quest all-in-one. Like, so many good items and top models to buy, just like Chris has listed there.
Yeah. And as you guys can see, the top models to buy: Oculus Go, Rift S, Quest 2, Quest Pro, like Matt just said. We do buy these used, damaged, broken, and then you can even resell them with no power. Like, that is a possibility. You can, you know, people buy these things, right? And the great thing about them is we use like a part out method. So we just sell everything individually and make more profit. Matt is the one that introduced that to me as well. And then we've actually taken that and applied it to, funny enough, other markets, like cameras and things like that too. Instead of just bundling everything together, we actually profit more from, you know, selling everything individually, which is pretty cool. And then I have another here, VR gaming systems. This is actually, you know, these are my sold listings that I'm showing here. You know, I'm going to let Matt talk a little bit about this, because I didn't know anything when it came to this, right? So this right here is a Valve Index. So Matt, talk a little bit about that. Like, the headset alone here sold for $420. Like, how did you find these? Like, I'm assuming it's similar to the Oculus Quest, but I didn't even know these existed.
Yeah. So there's so much other VR stuff. Like, there's, you know, the HP HoloLens or Microsoft HoloLens, right? HP has their own, Samsung has their own. But the ones we predominantly sell are the ones that have probably gained more traction and popularity amongst like culture and the masses. Most people know about the Oculus. Why? Because Meta, or Facebook, is the most pronounced reseller of the Oculus within the VR market, right? But next to that, you also have some other pretty big players. Like, you can see here, Chris has on his sheet top models to buy, and it says Valve Index and HTC Vive, right? Well, the Valve Index is just a really popular high-end VR system that I came across as I discovered about the Oculus. I said, there must be other players in this market, right? I mean, if there's Coke, there's a Pepsi. So I started looking and discovered that there were some very high-end. I mean, think about it. This is so high-end when this originally emerged. it sold for what roughly the MetaQuest Pro sold for when it emerged this year, which is, if you're paying over $1,000 for something to experience VR and video games and entertainment, that's pretty exorbitant expense for the average person. So what's the resale value of those things? And can we get a piece of that pie? And the thing is people who buy and resell electronics, there's so much more than simply, even consoles or phones. There's also VR systems. And so this specific one is the oldest, okay, but it's lost enough traction and popularity that it makes it really ideal for us to buy it at the prices that it's available at now. And of course, as Chris said, since we use the part out approach, our margins on this are crazy awesome. But think about it. The headset for this device alone sells for anywhere from $400 to $500. Okay, I sold 2 of these within the last 6 weeks, and each of them sold for about $450 for myself personally, right? That's exactly as much as I paid for the actual pieces, respectively, for everything, for the whole kit. I paid $450, and then I sold the headset for that much, right? So I made a nice little bundle on the rest, and it's just great. So the Valve Index and HTC Vive are other more popular VR systems that are out there, but you can't overlook them, because even though other stuff is more popular now and has the hype because people are using it, this old stuff is still in demand. Guess why? Because people still game on it. And where are they going to go to buy this stuff that you can't buy from the retailer anymore? They're going to come people like you, like Chris, like myself, and they're going to buy it from us. And it's a
100%.
really sweet way to make a bundle.
100%. Got another one here that you guys just saw a few minutes ago, Nintendo Switch. So this is another one that Matt kind of turned me on with the Nintendo Switch. Guys, I walk into pawn shops nowadays and I usually leave with 1 or 2 Switches, which is insane, right? And it's totally because Matt showed me kind of how this works, right? But I mean, top models to buy here is the Switch Lite, V1, OLED, and unpatched, obviously. Been finding a lot of those lately. Thank you, Matt, by the way. I've been finding a lot of those in pawn shops here lately. So I mean, it's another thing. How did you come across flipping these, dude?
I mean, it was a natural progression. I think the Wii U was starting to phase out, and the Switch popped up in around 2016, 2017 when it came on board. I just happened to buy a Switch tablet because some guy had it for sale with a record player he was selling, and I thought the record player was a great deal. But then I also saw the Switch tablet, and I was like, I think I'll buy one of those now too, and bought it, and it resold within 2 hours. And I knew that I was onto something. And so the Switch Lite, the V1, the V2, the OLED, and hopefully they're coming out with the Switch 2, I think in the next year. So that'll be kind of cool.
Huge,
I think 2024.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming out with a whole bunch of different custom models now, like Animal Crossing and the Pokemon ones, and which we're making money off of, which is great, right? But
absolutely,
then that's the great thing is there's no shortage. I actually did the math and sent it to Matt a while ago. I think there was something like 200 million Nintendo Switches sold. Guys, that's 3/4 of the United States. And that was just in the US. So by that logic, 2/3 of Americans have a Switch in their household. That's insane. That's insane. So
it's cool. It's cool too that they also have multiple elements that allows us to not just make money off the tablet, but the controllers, the charging dock, the games. It's great.
Yeah. iPads. So I'll go over this one. If you guys don't know, iPads are fantastic to flip. I buy a good amount of these. I love buying them broken because they cost so much to fix when they're broken. As you guys know, I hate fixing anything. I don't fix anything, right? So I just flip these things as is. As you guys can see here in this photo, this one's cracked, right? This one's sold, guys, in 20 minutes. And I was like, dang, I listed it too low. I bought it for $100, by the way. So I bought it I listed it at, actually, no, this one wasn't listed at Starbucks, but it was close. But you guys can see the big old crack up here on the left side of the screen. I bought it. I listed it when I got home, and then it sold within 20 minutes. And I made a quick about, $110 in profit after fees and shipping. Not bad, that's easy money. It's a day of working, So there's a lot of opportunity in these. And, here's the ones that I recommend. The iPad regular, 2018 and newer usually. iPad mini. Minis are selling pretty good. People really like the minis. And I like buying them. And then the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro is also a great one. Those come in a variety of different sizes nowadays too. So there's a lot of money to be made with iPads. PlayStations. Now, Matt, I'll let you talk a little bit about this, but I know, here recently, the PS4 is kind of starting to phase out. So the PS5 is starting to come down in price though, right? Mm-hmm. But as you guys can see here, there are still deals out there for PS4s. This was the Last of Us Part 2 limited edition. And this sold in, it looks like April. So not very long ago. You want to talk a little bit about, the PlayStations and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. So PS5s really popped off at the end of Q4 2022. A lot of them hit the market, sort of saturated the market in such a way that PS4s did come down in value. But the thing is, the secondhand marketplaces, Facebook, OfferUp, people that resell things, that they buy from Best Buy or whatever, responded accordingly. Like as the prices came down, we watched them kind of march down on eBay. We watched people's offerings and desire for the amount they were getting for those kind of scale down as well. The cool thing is, once you've sold enough of any product, you can kind of see where the gaps are and where those items that continue to retain their value. Certain ones still do, the PS4 Pro, PS4 Slim, Glacier White, right? Also your limited edition consoles. So for all intents and purposes, I don't want anyone to think that we still don't make money off of PS4s, off of their games and their controllers, because we totally do. It's just that the lowest end PS4 probably has like the worst evaluation of price that it ever has. But there are plenty of items within the PS4 family that have retained their value and still sell for well. And it's very gratifying to be able to buy these bundles now, because people who don't have a great command or vocabulary of price as we do on the market are listing them and selling them for stupid cheap. And you can get them for like really great deals online, wherever you're looking. And it's fantastic to be able to buy, a nice bundle and profit incredibly well from knowing exactly what we're buying and getting really great returns on that when we decide to move that over to a platform like eBay or Mercari.
Yeah. So this one was the custom edition. I bought this one for $165 and it sold for $400. I mean, talk about a steal, It also, funny enough, it also came with about 60 games too, which was cool. That was great. And then this is actually what our ads look like for the game consoles. As you guys can see here. Smartwatches. A lot of people pass these up. Guys, you might not make a ton of profit from these, but there's still profit to be made. $50 to $100 per watch, typically. Nice. A lot of people pass up on Apple watches and Samsung watches. And then there's also the Michael Kors watches too, that resell pretty well. Most people don't realize that though. If it's not name brand or something like that, most resellers will pass it up. And that's where somebody like me is going to come in and just snatch up them profits, right? So As you guys can see here, we got top models to buy. Apple Watch Series 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are typically the ones that still have a good enough range to make some money from. And that's what they look like. So Samsungs, I threw this in here because a lot of people focus on iPhones. So I wanted to put in Samsungs here because a lot of you phone flippers are only phone flippers when it comes to iPhones. And here I am to tell you, you're missing out on thousands and thousands of dollars in profit. Here's an example. So a guy I ran ads for a while back, he was like, dude, I'm not closing any deals, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, and I went into his account and I checked everything out. And every time somebody said, I'm looking to sell a Samsung, whether it's like an S23, and he would just say, "Oh, we don't buy Samsungs." And I'm just like, well, it's no wonder you're not making money. Like no, like you're not going to make money if you only do iPhones. So, guys, there's a lot of money to be made out there with Samsungs, and here's kind of what you're looking for too. You got the Samsung Galaxy S series, usually S10 and newer. You got the Galaxy Note 10 and newer, Galaxy Z Fold, Z Flip. As you guys can see here, this was a Z Flip. Good flip for me. I bought it for I believe 160, and it sold for 350. So good money to be made in Samsungs, used, damaged, and broken. Okay, everybody following along? Is this good stuff? Before we go to number 10, let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. You guys enjoying this? Are you learning something? Let me know if this is helping, and if not, then I will stop. All right. I know it's going to take a few minutes for the comments to come through, or a few seconds. So let's move on to number 10. Cameras. All right. Cameras, guys. A lot of money to be made in cameras. A lot of money. Okay. Most people do not realize this. So we have had 2 people in my Recelerator program. Okay. That's my main program, our premium thing, not the starter kit. I know a bunch of you guys on here are in the starter kit. In our premium Recelerator 2.0 program, we have had 2 students where all they did was flip cameras. Insane. We had one student who made $600 in profit on one camera flip. One. Insane, right? So there's a lot of money to be made in cameras. What kind are you looking for? Nikon, Canon, Fujifilm, typically. Oddball ones. Cameras can go to the thousands and thousands of dollars, guys. They go way further than phones most of the time, which are usually capped at about $1,000. Okay. Some cameras can sell for $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. That's insane, right? Can you imagine the profit margin if you buy a $5,000 camera at $2,500? Wild. Now there's also lesser ones, right? Nathan says you should throw in FLIR. Yeah, I probably should. FLIR cameras they're stupid. So are fish finders, right? Most people don't know that. Remember when I flipped that fish finder, Matt?
Yeah.
Made like $300 the same night. It was insane.
I was sourcing for some just the other day.
Yeah, they're out there too, and they go into the thousands as well, right? So these are the top 10, guys. We got iPhones, we got MacBooks, we got Oculus Quest, we got VR gaming systems, we got Nintendo Switch, we got iPads, we got PlayStations, smartwatches, Samsungs, and then cameras. So these are the top 10. If you guys want this document, make sure that you type top 10 in the comments below, top 10. And our guy, Jared, who's a good friend of mine and one of my best students ever, he's done over $10,000 in profits in 1 month reselling. He'll send it over. He'll drop it in your DM so that we make sure that you get it. Okay. Cool. I see people typing top 10. Matt, anything to add on to that, brother?
Hey, there are more opportunities out there than you realize. And I hope you guys are able to walk away from this conversation, kind of like Chris and I feel these days, with a massive abundance mentality. You don't need to feel, a lot of people feel so constricted. Oh, we're in a recession, it feels like sometimes that just is a snowball that, is running downhill as fast as possible. But within the realm of what we get to do and share with other people, but also for ourselves, because guys, we're resellers too. We're flippers also. There's so much opportunity out there and so many offerings of great deals that you can find and opportunities to be made. So I really look forward to the prospect of maybe being able to connect and do some further work with you guys to help you build and grow a business, and not just become somebody that side hustles and makes a few bucks, but can actually really hold down a nice, solid quality income, whether it's through phones or consoles or cameras or MacBooks. You can see that there's so many variety of things that you can use to make a pretty penny out there. So I hope you're able to do that for yourself. That's what I want for you.
Heck yeah. Awesome. All right. So last question, and I want everybody who's on, if you can, drop in the comments below. How much money in profit are you looking to make over the next 6 months buying and flipping phones and other electronics? Drop a number, because if you don't have a number, you don't have a goal. And if you don't have a goal, you're basically just a bag in the wind floating out there. Okay. How much are you guys looking to make in the next 6 months buying and flipping phones and electronics? Drop a number below. Kid Nova says 5,000. Okay. 5,000. That's not bad. I got to 10K. So 5 to 10K. Cool. Cool. All right. 5,000. Got it. Man, you guys are making some low numbers here. You guys, $5,000 in profits, only about 50 devices at $100 each, guys. Just putting that out there, right? So 6,000, 4,000 a month. Cool. Awesome. We got some good numbers coming in here now. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, cool. Awesome. So if you guys over the next couple of months, or let me ask this question, would you guys like help trying to get to those numbers? If that's a yes, type it below, because what we do is we help people make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, 3 to 5K per month within 6 months or less, with only meeting people twice to maybe 3 times a day when it comes to buying electronics. Do you want help doing that? If you want help building that type of business, drop a yes in the comments below. Okay. I'm going to say that again. If you want help getting to $3,000 to $5,000 in profit per month, that's coming in every single month with profit, right? Yeah. If you want help, type yes below. Jared will reach out. He'll see if we can help you out. Just so you guys know, this is a plug for the Recelerator program. This is my premium program. We have 3 coaches in it that help you guys, start, grow, and scale. And we help people pretty much in all walks too. If you're a beginner, great. If you're intermediary, fantastic. If you're already an expert, like last month, we brought on RJ, and Matt over here blew his mind. He was already doing $10,000 in profit a month. Already. He was up to, I believe last time he told me it was 14,000 this month. That's mostly from adding on game consoles.
I didn't know that.
Insane.
Awesome.
Right. So we got a team, and we just added this on. So this is something we just added on. If you join the Recelerator program this month, we will take over ads management for you. What does that mean in simple terms? We will run your ads for you so that all you have to focus on doing is buying and reselling and profiting. That's it. So if that's something you're looking to do, type yes below, and Jared will reach out. He will answer any questions that you have. If you're a good fit, and because we only take people who are a good fit, he'll obviously give you all the details and stuff on that. Anything to add to that, Matt? Anything to add on to the Recelerator program? Or I forgot to tell Mike part.
It's golden to be able to have people to help you through this process. I think we underestimate the value of community and how we